I want to show you a magnet with this magnet film, and it looks a little bit different than a lot of the other ways that we visualize magnetism. Notice that the poles are darker, and there's also a thin light area exactly perpendicular to the poles. And when we do this, notice how this looks a lot like this image of the Milky Way galaxy to the left. You can see the poles as well as the area perpendicular to the poles. A thin magnet will be attracted to the area perpendicular to the poles and can rotate around it, like you see here. The thin magnet's poles are opposite from the larger magnet's poles. See, I believe that this area is where the mass of galaxies are concentrated, and I believe that magnetism is relevant to galaxy formation. And I believe that the interaction of the magnetic fields can also create the spin of a spiral galaxy. This is a little bit controversial. I've had people claiming to be scientists claiming that they killed this theory, but it doesn't quite make a lot of sense why they wouldn't take it seriously. Here is the Milky Way, a typical spiral galaxy. Almost every large object in it has a magnetic field. Every star has a very strong magnetic field, as well as any other large objects. And here's the other image of the Milky Way, which was shown earlier. And I believe this is probably infrared, I'm not sure, but you can clearly see the poles as well as the mass perpendicular to the poles. This is an actual NASA image, a drawing that was made, showing a representation of a black hole such as is found in the middle of a Milky Way galaxy. Here's another representation of a spiral galaxy with visible poles. I feel like a lot of the mystery of dark matter is really just science not taking magnetism into enough account. And here's yet another. The fact is that magnetism is a very important part of a galaxy, as well as every object in it. Here's a representation of the galactic magnetic field interacting with the solar field. Everything in the galaxy, the magnetism, the fields of magnetism interacts with each other. Here's a representation of the solar magnetic field interacting with a planetary magnetic field. So it happens on the solar system level, the galactic level, and here is a representation of the magnetic field of Jupiter, which you can see is pretty huge. And even in this image you can see a ring of something orbiting perpendicular to the poles. Now I want to demonstrate magnets as a pressurized quantum vessel. When a thin, flat magnet is broken in half parallel to its axis, it immediately is unstable. When you view it with the magnet screen, you can see a cross. The two halves can only be put back together side by side with opposite polarities, or they can be stacked. But in order to make a single flat magnet, they have to be put back together with their opposite polarity side by side. When you try to stick it back the way it was originally, it will not work. This is also similar to how a thin magnet can rotate around a larger magnet in the area perpendicular to the poles of a larger magnet. Now when a long thin magnet is broken, then it will form two separate magnets, but they can still be stacked on top of one another. when you take a ring magnet, again, that's like the thin magnet, and when it's broken like a flat magnet, like the flat magnet I initially showed you, it will not retain its original form. The only way you could do it is if you superglued it together. So in this way, magnets are like pressurized vessels of quantum energy. Now here is a very easy to make Gauss gun. All you need is a set of magnets with the hole in them, stack them together, and then you need some separate magnets that will fit right in the hole. You can stick the magnets that go into the hole with the poles the opposite way from the other set of magnets. It will be sucked into the hole after you get the tip in, and when it's in, it will be stable in that configuration. Then you can find a brass bolt about half the length of the Gauss gun and stick it in. Brass is non-magnetic, so it will be ready for launch at that point. And this again demonstrates permanent magnets as a pressurized quantum energy vessel. The world can very easily and very cheaply use these quantum vessels as a source of eternal, cheap, and clean power. For me to show you that, please check out my other videos. Thank you.